A couple things as we get started. I think you know that the Centerville-Washington Foundation is your premier channel for community philanthropy. We've had some challenging years in the past 2 or 3 years, both in the community and in the region and in the nation. We can be proud that this community and our foundation have stepped up and supported 11 organizations with grants of more than $40,000. In addition, with the great work of the events committee, and I should really thank Carol Kennard and Debbie Dawkins and Richard Carr, who is there, who really been the people to put on this evening. So Carol and Richard and Debbie, thank you for all. And last fall, we were able to host a financially successful founders event in person where we honored Dr. Paul Stahl. What a great example of wonderful innovators in our community. If you didn't see the plaque out there that lists all of our founders, honorees, you should see that. And Debbie will tell you a little bit more about next fall when we get started. I want to recognize some of our current board members that are up there. You'll also notice that on that list is our secretary, Bob Hansman. And in case you're not aware, Bob has recently accepted the position of the Court of Common Pleas here in Montgomery County. And so Bob is here. I think this is not a paid political announcement, but it's an honor to have him on the board too. Also would like to recognize our community leaders that are up here. Take a second to that. Without them, we could not be as successful as we are. And also with our sponsors. We're thankful for our sponsors that are up there, right there. Okay. At this time, I'm going to recommend the ratification and election of the following appointed board member, Dennis Percy. May I have a motion to approve Dennis coming on to the Centerville-Washington Foundation Board? Thank you, Jack. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Then the motion carries. Thank you very much. In addition to the new member, the Centerville-Washington board members include the following community activists, and that is up there again, so for you to see. Also, our committees, I think, are up there on the next one. Since our most important function is to provide grants, I want to welcome our grants chair at this time, Scott Kohler.
Good evening. The team has put together a video describing our grant process, checking in with our 2021 spring grant winners, and announcing our 2022 spring grant winners. As you're about to see, we've come quite a way since a budget of $1,000 back in 2000.
Founded in 1998, Centerville-Washington Foundation supports local nonprofit organizations for a wide array of charitable purposes in the area of education, poverty, environment, arts, health, and social services. The foundation has 2 grant types: community support grants, a series of small grants usually made in the spring, and the community impact grant, a larger grant made in the fall. The impact grant is intended to help launch a new and unique opportunity for the community. Here are the 2021 community support grants the foundation made and how the monies were used. Sophie's Companions for Veterans is a project dedicated to help veterans who suffer from a disability and would like a companion dog to assist in their everyday life. These companions are all animals from kill shelters, dogs or cats, or rescues, and have had obedience training by a certified trainer paid for by Sophie's. Here are a few veterans with their dogs. The first white dog near the dumpster on the left was dying and was pulled from the shelter. After 8 months of treatment and love, he was presented as a service dog to his veteran. Here are a few more. The German Shepherd at left was recently presented to a grateful veteran who has been diagnosed with ALS. A grant was given to Washington Township's Town Hall Theater to help fund new seating in the theater. They hope to complete the renovations this summer. The City of Centerville was granted funds to replace the HVAC system for the Ashel Wright House and administrative offices for Centerville-Washington history. St. Vincent de Paul Incarnation Conference was granted funds to purchase Kroger gift cards for low-income needy neighbors in the Centerville-Washington Township community. The conference visits on average 3 families per day once a month who have requested food support. This grant allows them to add $20 to their normal gift card distribution of $60, $70, or $80 per visit, depending on the size of the family. Funds were granted to Centerville-Washington History to support restoration of the old Centerville Cemetery, also known as the Sugar Creek Cemetery. 2 seasons of cleaning and initial repairs were made possible, and History will complete the final stage of repairs this spring with the remaining Centerville-Washington Foundation funds. Big Brothers Big Sisters Miami Valley received a grant to enable youth mentoring in Centerville-Washington Township, which included taking kids to Dayton Dragons games, bowling, golf at Yankee Trace, and other fun activities for bigs and littles in the community. Solar lighting at local parks was implemented thanks to a grant to the Centerville-Washington Park District. A grant was made to the Centerville Community Improvement Corporation and the Arts Commission to help these organizations identify mural locations which will visually enhance the character and vibrancy of the Uptown District. Once a location is identified, artists will submit designs for review by the CCIC and the Arts Commission, with participation from community stakeholders. The Elk Mural is the first of the projects to bring public art to the Uptown area, and they look to do 1 per year. The Community Impact Grant is awarded to help launch a new and unique opportunity for the community. The 2021 grant went to the Washington Township Recplex to assist in the renovation of the Countryside Park Revitalization Project. The first phase of the project to be undertaken this summer focuses on Bass Lake in the northeast corner of the park. The project includes installing a lake aeration system, replacing the observation deck, dock, and boathouse, installing a kayak launch, and adding an indoor restroom. Components will be accessible and environmentally friendly. The project is funded in part by grants from the Foundation and the Land and Water Conservation Fund. The second phase of the project centers on turtle and heron ponds in the southeast area of the park that are severely threatened by embankment erosion. The plan is to dredge Turtle Pond and install a mitigation system to control water flow that contributes to the problem. An accessible fishing pier will also be installed. The need for these improvements came about after a community-wide survey of local residents. The 2022 Community Support Grants were most recently awarded to Girls on the Run will be able to help girls in the Centerville City School District participate in the program, which promotes girl empowerment by teaching life skills through lessons and running. Funds were granted to the City of Centerville as it partners with SIXA in a community cat trap neuter return initiative. This partnership provides community members the opportunity to volunteer directly in support of animals and is an example for other communities to protect the health and safety of neighborhoods. The Heart of Centerville, Washington Township received a grant to support its Party in the Park, which they plan to hold a couple of times over the summer. Local vendors, food trucks, live bands, and an evening-ending movie provide a fun and family-friendly event for the entire community to enjoy. Friends of the Castle received a grant to help with the transportation costs for people with severe mental illness. The Therapeutic Riding Institute provides goal-oriented equine-assisted activities and therapies for children and adults with a variety of disabilities. The Foundation's grant will fund scholarships for deserving students. The Foundation once again supported Food to Go to help provide breakfast and lunch on the weekends for students at Centerville City Schools with food insecurities. Volunteers pack the food bags each week and deliver them to each of the 13 schools in the district. Big Brothers Big Sisters Miami Valley received a grant to help fund mentoring relationships, in Centerville-Washington Township. Currently, they serve 33 mentoring matches, and these funds will enable the organization to support more mentoring matches for a year. Funds were granted to Ronald McDonald House Charities Dayton to assist in providing many of the critical amenities of home, including hot meals, showers, laundry facilities, and Wi-Fi to Centerville-Washington Township families so they can focus not on those stress points, but on the care and treatment of their hospitalized child. South Dayton Dance Theater was granted funds to create new backdrops for their highly popular Nutcracker Ballet, a yearly tradition for many young dancers in the area. Learning Tree Farm received a grant to help fund its Storybook Nature Trail, part of its mission to provide outdoor literacy-focused programming paired with physical fitness for hundreds of young families. Many thanks to our grantees, Richard Diaz and the Miami Valley Communications Council for taping and production, and to the donors and business sponsors of the Centerville-Washington Foundation.
In 2021, the board decided to award 2 more community impact grants to deserving organizations. Friends of the Castle sought funding for a community green space project to improve the landscape around the castle and in its lot to cultivate a safe green space serving the members of the castle and the community. Funds were also provided to First Dawn Food Pantry to replace aging flooring with a longer-lasting, more durable option that can take the wear and tear of shopping carts as they provide for the need of food distribution. Let's have a round of applause for all these great grant recipients. The Centerville-Washington Foundation is a part of the Dayton Foundation, which provides amazing support for all of our efforts. To the Dayton Foundation, we say thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, at this time I'd like to ask the outgoing president, Kevin McDonald, and our incoming president, Brendan Cunningham, to come up. So Kevin, thank you very much for the job that you've done for 2 years. Your leadership has been great with helping us grow and continue to make Centerville-Washington Township a better place to play and live and work. So to thank you for your 2 years as president, we have a plaque with a gavel attached. So that's thanks for doing that. Unfortunately, the gavel is going to have to be passed over to Brendan so he can be our next president.
Thank you, Mike. First of all, I just have a few comments to make as the outgoing president. Many of you know, but I've had some medical issues recently, so Mike Beavis, the past president, has really taken on a lot of the work that I would have done in the last 6 months, and I so much appreciate that. For this event, once again, Carol Kennard, for all of her work, thank you so much. It's been an honor to be president of Centerville-Washington Foundation. The board is a wonderful organization. We couldn't do this, though, without the support of the community and the giving that the community gives to us. We just so much appreciate it. Once again, special thanks, Mike, for all that you've done to help us. At this time, I will hand over the reins and the gavel to our new president, Brendan Cunningham.
So Brendan, you are now the president, so you will have to preside wisely as we go forward for the next 2 years. So.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Well, the main reasons you're here tonight is to listen to Coach Brook Cupps speak to us. Coach Cupps graduated from Capital University in 1999. He received his master's from the University of Dayton in 2004. And after coaching at Graham High School for a few years, we're glad that he came to Centerville in 2013, where he is both a state championship boys basketball coach and leadership teacher. It's an honor and a privilege to welcome Coach Cupps to the Centerville-Washington Foundation annual meeting tonight. Coach, thank you. You are on.
I can clearly remember me smacking the popcorn bowl out of my daughter Allie's hands, popcorn flying up through the air, raining down on our carpet, and me being mad because I couldn't watch another 10 minutes of film on the next basketball team, chasing the next win that I was after. Allie was maybe 5 years old. She fell to the ground crying as the popcorn was everywhere. All she wanted was for me to hold her while she watched her movie. And that for me was the bottom. Like that was as low as I thought I could get as a teacher, as a coach, as a dad. And I don't share that with you, definitely not proud of it, but I am grateful because that's not who I am now. So it served as an opportunity for me to change. At that moment, I was simply a transactional coach. I was trading player talent for wins for me, right? Which I think is pretty common. I was a selfish husband, not really invested full time in being present when I was home. And then I was a dad that I was pretty much embarrassed to be, especially at that moment. So that definitely woke me up. Now I have changed, thankfully. I try to be very intentional with how I live. I've tried to become a lot more self-aware. I have a clear purpose. My purpose in life now is to inspire others to strive for excellence over success. And so that doesn't matter if I'm at home with my family, if I'm teaching leadership class, or if I'm coaching basketball, or if I'm talking to you guys. I want to inspire others to strive for excellence over success. So for me, one of the biggest tragedies in society is comparison with other people. And that's what I think success is. I think we're taught to teach young people especially that success is my comparison with you. Like, am I better than you? And it's a race that you can always win, you can always lose, but there's no end to it. What I want to try to help people do is seek and search for excellence, which is the best version of you that you were meant to be. Like, why were you created, and what's the best version of you that we can get? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Like Mike said, my name is Brook Cupps. I'm the boys basketball coach. I was at St. Paris Graham actually graduated from there. That was my alma mater. So I was there for 12 years before coming here. I taught math. Then I was the athletic director and basketball coach for my last 5 years, but I was the basketball coach there for 12 years. And then came to Centerville. My dad was a teacher at Graham for 30 years. My mom drove the school bus. We're pretty much just school people, right? So it was hard for us to leave Graham, but I'm very grateful that we came here, the relationships we have and the opportunities that we've had and our kids have had to be in this community have been tremendous. So what I'm going to talk to you about is our culture of our program, kind of where it comes from, and hopefully then I can connect a little bit of that to what you're doing in the Centerville-Washington Foundation. Hopefully I give you something that you can take away from here that is beneficial or get you jacked up a little bit. I don't know, so hopefully you get something out of it. But I'm going to do that through my three mantras. So I've got three things that I kind of always come back to that allows me to be I'm really big on intentional living. One of the things I tell our kids in leadership class, Leadership 101, Foundational Leadership, is leading yourself. And the whole point of that class is to be who you say you want to be. Like, if you want to be hardworking, then don't be hitting snooze, right? Like let's make those things match. And so I try really hard to do that with my own life, and hopefully our guys see that and my students see that. But the wolf, the axe, and the arena. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about these, and I'll tie our core values into that. So the wolf, I think wolves are cool. They're not a lion or a tiger, right? But the thing I always come back to is you never see a wolf in a circus either, do you? Right. And so, I don't know why that is, but for me, in my mind, that's because a wolf is a wolf. Like, he knows who he is. He doesn't want to be somebody else, and he doesn't try to be somebody else. A wolf is a wolf. He's gonna do wolf stuff, right? And so, like, I love like the toughness is what I think of when I see it. When I think of a wolf, that's the first thing. My first core value, which was part of that, the situation I talked about with Allie earlier, like, I came through to like the self-reflection and the deep digging on myself. I came up with 4 core values that are central to who I am and really drive the culture of our basketball program too. So my first core value of tough is the wolf, right? And the wolf also kind of goes into my core value of being unified, because the other thing that I love about a wolf is that they're pack animals. And that really registers with me, because I've never really viewed myself as being really talented, really smart, really good looking, really athletic. I'm just kind of normal. But if I can be in a group and I can be in a team, I can be pretty good. Like, I can help the people around me be better. I'm a lot better. So I've just always felt a connection when I'm on a team. And it's one of the things that I think I have the greatest job in the world, because I have a team every year. Like, I haven't not had a team in a long, long time. And so, like, that's a safety thing for me. But a lot of it goes back to that, like the Rudyard Kipling quote, strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I really believe that, and it definitely holds true for me. Let me tell you a little bit about, like, this layout is one of the things I've worked with some individuals, some college coaches, and some business people. But this is how we lay out our core values. So that first one, tough, is my core value. The thing I think a lot of people get wrong or fail to do when they're talking core values and culture is talk about what that looks like. So tough, I had to think about, like, okay, what does tough mean? Tough for me means positive body language. Like, that's what it means. That's the root of toughness for me. So, like, when I'm coming in here to talk, like, I don't really know why you want to talk to just a high school basketball coach, right? But when I'm coming in here, I'm coming. Like, I'm coming in here with confidence. I've prepared. I know what I'm talking about with this stuff. So you're going to get the best version of me, right? I'm not going to tippy-toe in. And, I'm not doing that, right? And so in our program, positive body language is a big deal. Like this, no, in our program. Like, you got to go out of practice. Like, throwing up your hands with officials. Like, positive body language is something we are teaching constantly, but that's our behavior. Those behaviors, people talk a lot about culture. Culture is nothing more than the behaviors you allow. That's it. You can talk about all those, what behaviors are present on your team, that's your culture. And so our positive body language is a big deal. The fight ready piece of that for us is, like, that's my reminder. I'm a big Rocky fan, greatest fighter of all time, even though it was fictional. But, like, I just think of a boxer coming into a ring, or like a wolf walking up to something, right? Like, they're not like that fight ready. Like, we're ready. We're going to attack the moment that we're there. So that's kind of how all these will be laid out. When I think of unified, I always think of communication with unified, and that gets some people like, how did you get to communication for being unified? For me, I remember I'm team oriented. I think the number one most selfish thing you can do on a team is ignore a standard that's not being met. So if I'm a teammate and I see a guy run over and miss a line, right? I see it and I don't say something, or if I'm in the weight room and I know a guy's done 8 reps when he's supposed to do 10 reps and I don't say anything about it, that's selfish on my part, right? Because I'm choosing my comfort over what I know is best for the team. So, like, that is, for us, that's like the ultimate form of selfishness. Your comfort over what you know is best for the team. So speaking and acting with urgency, it's a really big deal for us. And don't flinch just means don't hesitate to do it. Like, we're going to build trust, and we're going to be all in with each other. Don't hesitate. We got to help that guy, whoever you're holding accountable, understand that it's for us. It's not about you or me. It's about us. So, tough and unified, the wolf, all right? A couple things that we say around toughness. You can't be tough alone. I love the quote, and I think it's so true. Like, we can be kind of tough alone, but we can't even come close to how tough we can be within a group. Not even remotely close. And the sooner we accept that and we embrace it and we give ourselves to a group, the stronger and the better we're going to be. We say the toughest team wins before every game or all the time. And the TGHT, that is the game honors toughness. So it's just a little saying that we have. So we like to say toughen together. That's kind of one of our little go-tos. So my next mantra is the axe. So kind of a country kid. I never really I didn't live on a farm. My wife grew up on a big dairy farm. My daughter, oddly enough, I was basketball like growing up. That's what I love to do. My wife was a dairy farmer and all that. So my son plays basketball. My daughter is all about cows still. So it worked out pretty well. We actually had, when we first moved down here, our first few years, we had cows out on, out on Nut Road. We had a couple heifers and cows out there we were kind of taking care of. But Allie loves cows. Gabe's all about basketball. But the axe for me, I specifically remember going and chopping wood with my dad, like going out into the woods, cutting down trees, chopping wood, bringing it back. We had a wood stove in our house that heated our whole house. So for me, the axe doesn't represent really anything besides work, like just work. And a lot of people shy away from that now. We ask our guys to do a lot. Like our guys, like a normal day for our guys will be here at 6 a.m. for breakfast club, practice after school, probably lift after that. Some of them will come back and shoot again that night. Like, it's a lot. And we just haven't shied away from it. We've just said, it takes what it takes. Like, you can pick, but the work has to match what you're aspiring to do. And so we've got a group, we've had guys, especially recently, that have aspired to do great things, and they've worked in proportion with that. So the axe is a really big deal for us. One of the things that we do that's really cool, we go on a retreat. We take our team on a retreat every year before the season, and we go up to Piqua, a guy up there that is a wrestler guy that I've just known since I was at Graham. He has a huge farm and stuff, and he has a bunch of dead trees that he marks. And so we go up there, and each one of our guys chops down a dead tree. Centerville kids ain't held an axe, just so you know. And so they go out there. They go out, and it's usually like in October, so sometimes it's pretty cold. But they go out and they've got all their coats and it's always funny. It's every year it's the same thing. They go out and they got all their coats on and these big they got winter gloves that they're about to swing an axe with. And I'll walk out and I'll say, how many swings do you think it's going to take you? How many swings do you think it's going to take? She's like, probably like 100. Probably 100. I'll get it in 100. So okay. He's like, what do you think? I go, I think it's going to be more than 100. And so, they'll go out there and they'll start swinging, and then off will come the sweatshirt, and then off will come the gloves, and then they'll start bleeding. They'll have some blisters. And I'll be like, are you in 100 swings yet? He's like, Coach, I've swung like 500 times. I'm not even close. I said, keep chopping, right? So keep chopping is like our big mantra. That we say chop wood when we break huddles and stuff. But the point of that is when you start swinging, those guys think they're going to get through, right? A lot faster than they get through, and they don't. And so now what? Do you quit, go find another tree, or do you keep swinging, right? You've got a decision to make. And we want guys that'll keep swinging. And so I love it. We'll always do it, but it's always funny, like when we go up there, like those guys it opens some eyes in terms of that. But it relates so much to like our breakfast club. Like guys will come into breakfast club like twice or 3 times, and they are like, I'm not getting any better. And it's like, you got to keep chopping, right? Like the persistence is something that we understood 20 years ago. The instant gratification that there is now, that's something that has to be taught. They have to understand that you're not getting better in 1 day or 1 week of breakfast club. You're getting good in 2 years of breakfast club. Then you see a difference. So Acts is a big deal for us. So it goes with my next core value is passionate. I believe that passion allows you to view things differently. When I'm passionate about something, obstacles are no longer obstacles. They're just things that happen, right? It's not a setback. It's just something that happens. Yeah, so what? We were going to keep going. So what, right? So we talk about choosing extra work. I think all the benefits in life are in the extra, right? What do you do outside of the expected, outside of the norm? That's what this group is. This group is extra, right? It's outside of everything else you do. That is where everything is. And the sooner they can learn that, they can appreciate that, I think it just opens a lot of opportunities for them. We talk about stealing inches. I played baseball in high school, so my dad was a baseball coach. So like I always think of like started on the outside of the plate, then you go a little bit farther out, right? You're stealing inches in that strike zone. We want to make sure we're maximizing everything that we can do. So we want to be efficient with it. We want to practice fast. We don't want to waste time. We want to respect each other's time. So passionate's a big one for me. This was actually our goal for our season. Our goals each year are always process-based. So they're never win a state championship. We talk zero about winning GWAC, district, regional, state. We don't talk about it at all. It's always about a process-oriented goal that if we fulfill it, we're going to have a pretty good chance to be wherever we want to be or maximize the group that we have, right? So last year when we won the state, our goal was to attack every situation with purpose. Attack every situation with purpose. And I actually said that in the final huddle of our state championship game. Guys, I don't know what you want me to do. We need to stop. Attack the opportunity. Attack the opportunity, right? This year it was do not seek comfort. I feel like, you may not agree with me, but we're pretty close to a comfort crisis in society today. Everything we do is to try to create more comfort for people, right? And so whether it's technology or what we're like, everything is like a search for more comfort. We all know the best things are soaked in discomfort. We all know that. And so like allowing our guys you're getting thrown out of our practice. I promise. Like you are going to fail in there. Like it's going to be hard. That's what leads to things that are worthwhile. I can't make it easier for you. I don't even want to make it easier for you. Everybody else is trying to make it easy for you, right? So we lean straight into that discomfort. The last one, the arena. So this is from Theodore Roosevelt's speech, Man in the Arena. But I take a couple different things away from this. This is one that I struggled with. It kind of hit me again when I started coaching, and there's just a lot of criticism out there, right? There's a lot of noise. I've gotten myself completely off social media. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. There's a lot of great stuff, but it's not for me. It's not for me. I think for me, I think there are three aspects of the arena that are really powerful. Comparison, fear, and entitlement are the three things that we talk about when we talk about the arena. And the values that it goes for. It goes with thankful for our value. But comparison, I talked about a little bit earlier. I just think it's the thief of all joy. Man, if we can help our kids not compare themselves to somebody else and just run their race and stay focused on them, a lot of anxiety and stress and a lot of the stuff that we deal with as problems, a lot of them are rooted in the comparison stuff. And we talk a ton about it in leadership class. It's in almost every week of leadership class, something with comparison. Then fear, I think kids are a lot more scared than they let on about things. And I think the biggest way to fight that is love. I don't think fear and love can coexist at the same time. And so we spend a lot of time, our guys probably say I love you. It's like a 7th grade dance. They talk about loving each other all the time. And it's really cool. When I first came, they thought I was crazy when we started talking about love in the boys basketball locker room with 16, 17, 18-year-old guys. But now it's normal. And like, when you know the people beside you love you, not for what you do, but for who you are and what you bring, it changes everything, man. It frees you up to just go be yourself and give everything that you've got to the group. And then the last one is entitlement. I freaking hate entitlement. I just eats me up fast. And I think gratitude, it's hard to be entitled when you're expressing gratefulness for things that are around you and that you have. And so we have things like, we'll do like Thankful Thursday every Thursday in leadership class. They text people they're thankful for. In Leadership 201, we do a cold call Thursday. So they just call some random person, like not random, like they pick them, but and tell them that they're thankful for them. So you can imagine them calling dad or mom and saying, "Hey mom, I'm in leadership class. Just want to let you know I'm thankful for you." And they're like, "Are you in trouble? Are you in the office?" Like, it's like, I tell them, like, man, that should tell you that, like, you probably need to tell them you're thankful for them a little more often if they're having a heart attack, if you're calling them, like, and actually expressing it. So, the arena, for us is, like, the thankfulness is a big deal. Like, we do gratitude circles after our games. We go around and tell guys, like, why we're thankful for them, why we appreciate what they bring to the team. We call it showing love. But one of the things that we actually chart this in practice is how many touches we get. I got in some trouble with this over COVID, the year we had COVID, because you weren't allowed touching anybody. And so, I just said, like, you're just going to have to fire me, because, like, that's what a team is. Like, we have to be able to do that. We'll use whatever hand sanitizer we need to use. We'll take whatever baths we need to take. But we have to be able to touch each other. Like, that is central to what we are about. And so we just did it, and I just got in trouble, and we just carried on. But it's really cool. They did a story a while ago it was when Golden State was really good. It's called Teams That Touch the Most Win the Most. And there's science behind it. Like, that it really does. What it does is it creates connection, right, between somebody. And so our guys, we have rules where if you turn the ball over, everybody's got to go give that guy a touch. And but it's just one of those things from a culture standpoint. You can talk about being thankful, or you can show it. That's a way that we can physically show that we're thankful for you by getting touches with you. So that takes you through my core values of tough, passionate, unified, and thankful, along with our behaviors and our beliefs that go with them. The wolf, the axe, and the arena are my mantras. This is a quote that kind of wraps our stuff together. We tell our guys, drink the water, but remember who dug the well. I think that for us, we want our guys to be really, really grateful for the people that came before them and feel a really, really big responsibility for the people that come after them, right? That's our goal with where they are presently. They have so many things to be thankful for, and they got so many people to thank for being where they are, and they have such a big responsibility for those people that are coming after them. And so we call our guys that graduate well diggers. Like, those are the guys that dug the well and put the next team to have the opportunity that they have. So I was just going to come back and connect a few of these. These are kind of quotes that I came across kind of preparing for this, but thinking about your organization, tough. We talk about going green in leadership class. They're present at the end of class as a green wristband. We talk about you could have red light mentality, yellow light mentality, or green light mentality. Right? Green light mentality is let's go for it. And I feel like that's what this group seems to be about. And whether you have the help that you need or you don't have the help that you need, seems like you find a way to get it done, and you just go for things, which for me is positive body language. Passionate, you're obviously passionate about the community. I had not heard that quote until I found it. I like it though. Hard work betrays none. Like, you can work hard and maybe you get what you want, but even if you don't get what you want, you're way better because of the work that you put in. Rising tide lifts all ships. I feel like that's really what this group is doing. And then the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service to others. So I don't know a whole lot more, but I am I am not a professional speaker. But I am good at answering questions because that's what I get a lot of at school. So I am happy to answer anything you guys have, anything you might want to ask. Gotcha.
You referred to Breakfast Club.
Yep.
Explain what that is.
So Breakfast Club is our guys will come in. Most of them get here between 5:45 and 6 a.m. every day. And they work out, they shoot, I leave them alone in that time, but they're just working on their skills and their game. And usually with somebody else, like a partner, they're usually partnered up. They create it, they get their own break at 6:15, they get a break. If you come after 6:15, you got 25 burpees to get into the gym. If you're there, then you're working. It's funny, last year they did a story on the breakfast clubs for the state tournament, and so I got a bunch of texts, calls, emails about it, and everybody was like, well, how often do you do it? And I said, every day. And they said, well, like, what about game days? I said, that's a day. Like, yeah, we do it on game days? You're doing it game days? Like, yeah, we do it game days. I mean, for our guys, it's just, like, especially, there was a story after we won the state, Gabe and Tom came in the next morning after winning the state championship game. They were here like 5 a.m. They probably didn't go to sleep because they were so jacked up. But still, it's like what you don't realize and what people from the outside don't realize is it has something to do with the skill development. It has a whole lot more to do with the mentality. Like, our guys think no one outworks them. And they don't even think it's close. Because people, like, if you take our guys that are, like, Gabe's a good example. He's a junior, going to be a senior. He's been going to Breakfast Club since he's been in 5th grade. So somebody just starting at Breakfast Club as a junior, not catching him. Like, how far, we've been doing this a long time. And so it's like, and the other part of it is we talk about shared suffering. I think one of the best ways when you talk about team development, it's vulnerability leads to trust, right? Vulnerability is being there every morning at 6 o'clock, every morning, 6 o'clock. And now some of our guys come 3 days a week, which is fine. That goes back to what are your goals? Like, they just have to match. Like, if you want to play college basketball, you better be there 5 days a week, right? If you just want to make the team as a freshman, once or twice will probably be good, right? But our guys just believe in it. That shared suffering is such a big bond. So we talk to the football guys even. Like, I ask football guys or fall sports athletes, I ask them to come in once or twice a week. Now, I only want them doing ball handling and shooting free throws, and they can come at 6:45 instead of 6:15. But what I'm really getting, the basketball stuff doesn't even matter. They just need to see each other. Like, our basketball guys need to know that they're invested in them too. And it's not just, I'll show up in December or November whenever fall is over. That doesn't work when you're trying to compete at a really high level.
Were there any learning lessons or anything that came out of the loss, the state championship loss, that surprised you or made you proud that you would like to share from your young men?
Yeah, I thought our guys handled it really well. I think we talk all the time about surrendering the outcome, like prepare, go play, right? Let it go. And I thought we did that. We didn't play very well, but that's part of it. And we can't say surrender the outcome as long as we win, you know what I mean? And so I really felt like our guys did a good job. Took them a couple days to recover afterwards, as you would expect. But I think once they realize that it feels like a finality, but that's the beauty of teams. Like, those guys will talk to each other the rest of their lives. So what feels like something that's final really isn't that final in the big picture of things. And once they grasped that, I thought they were really, really good about it. I think that was the biggest thing. And for me personally, I think I've been caught off guard by the number of people that have come up to me and said, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry how the season ended. And I get it. Like, I think that's a normal thing to say. But, like, I'm past that, right? And it's like, when I look back on it now, like, we won 45 straight games, won a state championship. If we hadn't won a state championship last year, all you'd be doing was congratulating me on getting to the state championship, right? We were as high as number 4 in the country. We beat like 2 top 10 teams in the country. I mean, like, we had an incredible year with the schedule that we played and the teams that we played, the way our guys who have Centerville from 2nd grade on, they've played together, and like, you kidding me? Yeah, like, yeah, we lost. I was disappointed too, because I wanted that for those guys. But man, it's all good. That's part of it. Like, I think that it's part of it. We'll keep chopping.
When did you, when you then started to create your core values and looked into that, how did you take that and incorporate that into your coaching career, and how was that received? What would have been clearly a change in you, the coach before, and the coach after?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, because I was coaching at the time, and right along that time, we beat a team by 40 and then lost to them by 40 in the tournament, or beat them by 40 and then lost to them in the tournament, which was like major devastation for me too. But I just think, like, I went to an Athletes in Action clinic, and Dick Bennett, who was the old coach at Wisconsin, was speaking. He was talking about his pillars. Tony Bennett uses those same pillars at Virginia now. And when he was talking, I was like, this was all around the same time. I was like, that's it. That's it. Like, I was to a point where I knew I couldn't continue coaching the way I was coaching. Like, it was just non-fulfilling. Like, I was literally just trying to win the next game so I could say I was better than that coach. That's all it was. That is what 90% of it was. And honestly, it's what half of business is too. It's like, you making more? It's everywhere. It's like that comparison thing. So I was caught in it. And when I stepped back and I heard Bennett speak, like, that's what it's about. That's what I want to do. Is I want our guys to leave our program tougher, more passionate, more unified, more thankful, chasing excellence and not success. That's what I want our guys to leave with. And when I rolled it out to our guys, it was like, okay, coach, it's just like everything else. They don't really think you're going to stick with it. And I remember coming here, that was because when I was at Graham, it almost just kind of became that, right? Like, I was from Graham. They listened to me because I played there and they knew me. And when I came here, it was a very intentional method to try to instill our culture and our beliefs. And so that was really cool for me to try to do that. And it was a fun challenge to try to, it was like, our first team had like Jake Rapogel and Jared Weiler, these big giant football guys. And I'm walking in and be like, all right, I love you. And they're like, rrr. So it took a little bit, but you know what? Like, fear and love can't coexist. Like, if you just keep showing them love and you show them that you care about them and you're for them, I've been here 10 years and we haven't had very many guys that haven't like bought in. The people that don't buy in sometimes are the parents, because their kid, if he's not getting to play. But the kid almost always buys in because he's in the practice, he's with the guys, he gets it. Like, he's in. So, and that's who I'm coaching. That's my focus, and that's why I stay off social media and stuff. I don't need to see what parents are saying about me. My guys.
Any examples of kids that have graduated and the impact that this has had on their either leadership or team or work or excellence in their future?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of awkward for me to talk about it because I feel like it's like bragging. But like, I get emails and calls from guys a lot. Sam Lash is a good one. He's at Ohio State right now, and he's in journalism stuff. And he sent me like a piece that he did, and the teacher's remarks about how good it is. And he's like, Coach, it's all because I did the extra work, and I did this, and I did this. Garrett Fisher, who's on one of our teams, is in medical school, and he just he's like, it's not even close. These guys are complaining about stuff, and it's not even extra. It's just normal work. And so, like, that's the cool part, because when you consistently choose extra, like, our guys don't think Breakfast Club's extra now. Yeah, Breakfast Club, you know. And other people are like, you do that every day? Like, so those are really cool to get and make you feel really good.
Do you actually get any breakfast at Breakfast Club?
Every once in a while we bring donuts, yeah. Yeah, Bill's makes an appearance every once in a while. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Coach. That was a powerful message. We appreciate it in this group. Just as importantly, we're fortunate to have you teaching the kids of our community. Thank you. I did want to thank Kevin McDonald, our outgoing president. Kevin, thank you for your great work, the leadership that you've provided to me and the others in our organization and all the other organizations. I know this is not your only gig in town. Kevin helps organizations throughout the Dayton area, so thank you, Kevin. I want to give a special thanks to Mike Beavis. As many of you know, Mike is extremely involved in many community initiatives. He's a huge asset to our organization. I jokingly would say after I've knew Mike for about 3 years that I need to stop answering his phone calls because he'd always rope me into, I could never say no to the guy. But Mike, thank you for all you do for us. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize my number one fan and the all-star of our family, my wife of 28 years, Amy. So thank you. It's a privilege for me to take over as president of the foundation. Some of you know, but I grew up in Centerville, lived here most of my adult life. It's hard to believe that 34 years ago, as a 1988 graduate, I have a group of my high school buddies here tonight. And some other friends that we've known each other for 40 years, 40 plus years. And to me, the friendships, the relationships, that's what makes our community strong and what I value the most. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you, our foundation supporters. With the groups that we were able to assist in the community, we couldn't do it without you. Another big event that we do each year, our Founders event, this year will be October 6th. Please save the date. And our board member, Deb Dawkins, I'm going to ask her to come up and announce this year's honoree.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brendan. It is my pleasure to announce that the Foundation Board has selected Ms. Janelle Ross as its 2022 Founders Honoree, a graduate of Emory University in Atlanta. Janelle is president of the Bob Ross Auto Group. She has served on numerous boards of several foundations and community service organizations, including as trustee of the University of Dayton, the boards of the Dayton Performing Arts Alliance, the Dayton Development Coalition, and the Diversity Council for Centerville-Washington Township, and has raised more than $100,000 for the American Cancer Society Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk. She is only the second-generation African-American woman automobile dealer in the U.S. Janelle is also currently the chair of the Cincinnati branch board of the Federal Reserve Bank in Cleveland. I hope you will be able to join us on October 6th to thank, honor, and congratulate a community leader, Janelle Ross.
Finally, I'd like to thank Carol and her team for putting this awesome event on tonight and all the hard work that you put in to this. So thank you, Carol. And we'd like to also thank Centerville High School for the use of this excellent facility and the manager of the facility, Mike Cordonier.